Hey guys, it's Bree. And for those of you who watch my channel, not where I usually am, my bed used to be over there, but now my bed is here. Yeah, I don't know, it makes my room look bigger. So anyway, today we're gonna do a video on periods because I don't know how old my viewers are, but some of you might not have your periods yet. Some of you might. Some of you might be about to get them. Some of you might just want some tips for them. But I'm going to tell you my story, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about periods and then whatnot. So, my first period story started in 6th grade. I got to school and something didn't feel right, but I didn't exactly know what it was. So I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to go about my day, and if it still feels weird, well, I'll text my mom and tell her. Because I had a phone in 6th grade because I was 12, and I was allowed to have a cell phone when I was 12. So, it still felt weird, and I was like, okay, it's second period, and I still feel like this, something's not right. So we had I was in math class, and we usually had a male math teacher, but he wasn't there, so we actually had a substitute, and luckily she was a female, but she wasn't a really nice substitute. But anyway, so something still didn't feel right, and I had khaki colored capris on, and I went to the bathroom and pulled down my pants, and there was blood in my underwear, and I was like, oh great, I got my period in school, I have nothing for it, and yeah, so I go back to class, and I don't even walk in the door, I'm just like, Miss, I don't even remember what her name was, we'll just say Miss Jones. I was like, Miss Jones, I need you to come out to the hallway. I need to talk to you. And she's like, no, you can talk to me right here. And I was like, no, you need to come in the hallway because I need to talk to you. And she's like, no, you can talk to me right here. What's wrong? And I was like, okay, well, I need to go to the nurse. And she's like, well, why? And I was like, well, if you really want to know, then you need to come in the hallway so I can tell you. And she's like, no, you're going to tell me right here. And I was like, well, whatever. I'm just going to the nurse. So I left class, and I went to the nurse. And I told the nurse, and she wanted me to stay, and she just wanted to give me somebody else's, like, I don't know how your schools are, but in our intermediate school, everybody, like, brought in extra pairs of clothes for kids that, like, I don't even know. But our school had extra pants and extra underwear, and I never really wanted to use them. And she wanted me, sorry, I was changing the song on my phone. Right now it's playing sexy, and I know it. That's not what I want to listen to. There we go. She wanted me to just wear one of those, and I was like, no, let me call my mom. So I called my mom, and she came and got me, and we went home, and she's like, well, get a shower, and then I'll tell you what to do. So I got a shower. Then she's like, here, put this on your underwear, and it'll stop the bleeding. And so I got new underwear, and I put it on my underwear, and blah, blah, blah. And then I did that every day until it stopped. And periods usually last for 5 to 7 days. But then when I was about 14, I tried to use my first tampon, and that's a whole other story that we'll get into later when I show you tampons. Okay, so, what your period is every month you go through a cycle. And what your cycle is once you start your period, you have eggs. Well, you always have eggs, but you get these really tiny little circle things that are called eggs. And if they're not fertilized by a man's sperm, and what fertilized means is it creates baby. But if they're not fertilized by the man's sperm, then you get rid of them. And they go through all your little tubes and organs and thingies, and they smush up. And when they smush up, that's why you bleed. But they smush up and they come out in the form of blood. And you can stop them by pads or tampons. And I used pads at first, but now I prefer tampons because pads you're pretty much sitting in your own blood and feel like you have a diaper on. And tampons, if you put them in right, you can't feel them. And no, you don't have to be a non-virgin to use them. You can use them and be a virgin, and it doesn't take your virginity. It doesn't pop your cherry or whatever you want to call it. You're still a virgin. It doesn't stretch you. It doesn't do anything. You're still fine. You're a virgin and all that jazz. So don't listen to anybody when they say you have to be a non-virgin to use a tampon, because that is not true. And yeah. So I personally like tampons because they feel just a whole lot better, and my mom never used a tampon. She doesn't like them, never used them. But anyway, I always did, and I always have. And if you have a really heavy period, you can talk to your mom and talk to your doctor about putting you on birth control, and you might not be having sex. I personally am not, and I use birth control because I had really, really heavy periods, and I got on birth control, and it was like a magic fairy came and said, boom, no more cramps, no more heavy bleeding. You are finally free to live your life and only have your period for 3 days, and it's super light and super easy, and it's fantastic. But I had a bad experience with tampons when I first started to use them. I did not know how to put one in. I did not know anything about it. My first one was a cardboard one because I was at Hershey Park and I was going to get in the pool and the water rides and stuff, and I only had pad. And if you use tampons, you can get in the pool and stuff, and if you use pads, you really can't because then they absorb all the water. And it's just a big mess. But tampons you can go swimming with. So my friend's mom bought me like 25 tampons out of the vending machine, and I tried and tried and tried till I finally got one, and then I finally got one, and we were all good. So I'm going to show you two tampons. I'm going to show you a super, and I'm going to show you a regular. I personally don't use the supers anymore. My friend does when she comes over, and you can get a half super, half regular pack, and that's what I usually get because she usually uses the super, and I usually use the regular. But she got the thing that goes in your arm now, so she's not going to be super anymore. And I'm about to get the Marina, for those of you who know what that is. For those of you who don't, Google it because I'm not explaining that. That could be a whole nother video, and I'll do that later. And I'm only doing the Marina because I don't feel like taking the pill anymore because I already take enough pills, and I don't need to take no more. But showing you what a tampon looks like. Okay, this is a super. I use U-Click by Kotex, and you just rip off the little top, and it's got little arrows that show you like how to rip it, but really you can just pull it off. And then if you pull it out of the package, this is what the super looks like. And then it has a little thingy right here that you pull up so you hit click. And then I like to pull the string just to make sure that it doesn't want to break off or anything. And then what you do is, okay, your lady parts have your, what's it called, clitoris, and then you have a hole under that. And that is where you put it.